Welcome to the Florida Room. We got Nick County and Kokomo too. Welcome to the Florida Room. Hope you have a good time. Oh, hey, Danny, I didn't see you there.
Hi, Nick.
Welcome to the Florida Room.
Welcome. wearing a gun. He wears a gun while he drives the bus.
He's a freak in the best sense of the word.
I like the fact that he's driving his own bus.
Yeah, that too.
That's what I'm saying. Like I love Johnny Cash, bulletproof, obviously, but like he never served any time in prison. But does it matter?
I don't think it matters. He's just out there for the people. You can be out there for the people and not go to jail.
Do you like talking about authenticity? Like, what are your thoughts on authenticity?
Authenticity? But that's a trap. You can't talk about authenticity, you know? Like what's authentic or what's sincere. That's just kind of a trap, but you kind of just know it when you see it, right? Especially musicians, it's very like transparent.
If you talk about it, because it's a feeling, it's not like a thought, right?
Yeah, it's all posturing. I mean, the Outlaws and Waylon and all this, you know, like even they understood that it was like it's a creation of forces outside of themselves. And they're sort of playing into it, but at the same time trying to resist. And
like a marketing device.
yeah. I mean, they made an album called The Outlaws and put like mugshots on it.
Right,
like,
right.
I mean, that's...
And that was the first,
contrived as it gets.
that's kind of that's the beginning of that like movement.
But then they're writing a song about how it's getting out of hand.
Right, right. Are you, and then even, there's multiple songs, like, even like Are You Sure Hank Done It This Way, I feel like is touching that a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like Waylon is, I mean, it's like, if you talk about authenticity, you also talk about like art mimicking life, and like, I mean, he did live his art.
Yeah, but he's very self-aware.
Right.
You know, I think they all were, and that's why they left Nashville.
Don't you think it's dangerous, though, to like figure out where that line goes?
Yeah, but that's the fun of it, right? Because they don't want to just be like Charlie Pride or somebody.
Right,
they
right,
want to
right.
like...
They're not squeaky clean.
I mean, it's certainly probably harder to be a family man in the music business in some way. But
Well,
there's plenty of songs about that, too.
I think we heard a song yesterday that I think touches on that a little bit, a Daniel Milewski song, right?
Take me out of the...
Talk to me about Don't Take Me On The Road. Talk to me about like what's behind that.
It's a song about fear, you know, like not wanting to be a touring musician, even though you understand that like that's part of the deal if you want to maybe have a certain amount of popularity or
Reach people.
or you want to like expand your audience a little bit or
Not wanting to at all, like Beatles style, like nothing, or just not making it like a priority?
no, it's not. I don't think it's like not wanting to. That's maybe not the right word. It's more about, I think if you have a family and you have a wife and kids and stuff, you don't want to leave people for really extended periods of time, you know.
You gotta get that private jet, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like
You can take them on the road too, you know.
Yeah.
Don't take me out on the road. I just wanna stick around. Don't take me out on the freeway. It leaves me
quality songs, I think they often do that, is finding the quickest way to get from point A to point B, not always finding the roundabout way to say something, putting an effort to say it as straightforward as possible. You know what I mean? Like, is that something that you think about? Is that something that is that an impression you get from your songs?
I think mostly I'm trying to serve the melody. You know, that usually comes first, like some kind of chord change or something that, and then like, or melody that leads to a chord change or vice versa. A lot of times, I feel like I'm doing both. Like I'm trying to write some things that seem more straightforward or whatever you want to call it, like narrative or something. And then there's other things that I feel are just more oblique. I think when you're writing songs, you're always like searching for good metaphors, you know? And then those can come in so many ways. They can be like really literal examples or like puns or something like that. Or they can be like just really like, you know, poetic, like lines that are put together in an interesting way or something. You know? And I'm not ever really, I don't think, looking for any of it specifically. It's just sort of like what presents itself, you know, what sounds good, what I think feels good with a melody or a sound, and I'm just kind of working from there, you know. And as it starts to take shape, it becomes more of a thing that I can understand in a clear way.
Do you feel like these things, like you mentioned, like starting with the melody, like sometimes, like, do you feel like these things are like being thrust upon you or dropped on you, or do you feel like you have to go out and discover them and find them for yourself?
I don't really know where they come from. I don't know that anyone really knows where, you know, like creative inspiration or something like comes from, you know. It's just sort of out there. So I never really feel like I own it, you know. Like it's not really.
You're renting it from the cosmos or something?
Yeah, like I don't want to sound like new agey about it or something like that, but you know, you don't always really know what you're trying to get. You're just trying to get like a good song.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just interested in whatever that's going to be. Like in that recent Robbie Robertson autobiography, he's talking about people ask him about the songs, and he's like, well, it's just the best thing I could think of at the time.
Yeah.
You know, and that sounds kind of flippant and a little like, I don't know, maybe a little boring, but essentially that's what it is. You're just trying to make the best thing that you can make in whatever form it takes, and maybe that's something that's more abstract, or maybe it's something that's very literal and straightforward. Like "Don't Take Me Out on the Road" is a pretty straightforward song. I think probably more straightforward than other things I've written, you know.
And yet, like the sentiment or the way you say it, I would agree, is very straightforward, and you can take it at face value, but like when you actually think about what the song's about, there's like a deep iceberg below it, you know? It's much deeper than just I don't want to get into a car and drive to Albuquerque tonight, you know?
Any really good song, you're sort of looking for all of that, you know? You're looking for the things that are very easily relatable and straightforward and maybe have like, you know, an ocean sort of beneath them.
Yeah.
And then you're looking for the stuff that's maybe much more abstract or strange that just has all kinds of interpretation or something.
I think if there's a phrase that's like on the common tongue, has a deep iceberg to it, that's like fantastic real estate, you know? You're like, why didn't anybody buy this? Like it was sitting here, you know, out in the open. Maybe you rent it, you know, maybe you don't get to buy it. You're just appropriating it. Or...
Yeah, and I think, you know, when you're putting songs out there for other people to listen to, people are gonna interpret those things for themselves, you know? And whatever a particular line or a verse might be about for me, or how I like to think about it even when I'm singing it or something, is just not what someone else is going to think about. And that's totally fine, you know, because people don't, we talked about this before, like that Steve Earle quote where he's like, people don't care about you in the song, they care about how they see themselves in the song.
100%.